Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a July favorites video. This feels so weird. I haven't sat a sit down in front of my actual camera video in a very long time. So very weird. Announcement before we get into this. If you hear a dog whining at all throughout this whole video, our senior little old lady dog Zoe had an abscess in her bum and it was popped by the doctor. I know that's probably way too much information, but it's been 24 hours and she's on pain meds, but she's still in pain, so she's just very grumpy. And I tried to close my door, but that made her even madder. So we're just, if you hear yipping, it's probably me, it's probably not in your house. But yeah, I got some things I want to talk about that I loved in July. I've also, my shopping addiction has got out of control over the last couple of weeks. I'm trying not to keep anything too new to me in this video. But, like, I can imagine the next favorites video I'll do will just have a lot of really dumb stuff in them, and I'm excited for it. Like, I just bought a new dress from Sprout. If you know Sprout, I have a bunch of her dresses that I've had for years, but, like, the one that I bought a while ago, it has, like, cauldrons with plants in it. It's perfect for me. It only came in the mail, like, yesterday, so I can't put it in a July favorites video, but alas, I do love it. So anyway, let's get into the actual things that I love. So we're going to talk about a couple of Bath & Body Works things first. I don't have any of them in front of me because I was afraid to grab them. They're breakable, and the longer I can just leave them in their spots without me picking them up and probably dropping them, the better. So they had this like matching witch hand set, not the pink one, the white hand, and I told you I was going to buy the pedestal, and I did, and I also have the matching grabby hand. This sort of grabby hand is made for their soaps. And I don't really have a use for their soaps, so I went forever trying to find a bottle that would fit in there so that I could put water propagation plants in there. And Alyssa and I ended up finding the perfect little plastic bottle in the checkout area at Michael's. After, of course, we had gone through all the glass jars and that sort of thing, we found it perfectly at the last second. But it just fits right in there, so I have the hand pedestal that's supposed to hold like a 1-wick candle. I have that holding a rattlesnake calathea, and I have the other one holding just some pothos cuttings. And I love them. I think they look great on my plant shelf up there. Speaking of pothos cuttings, when I was editing that pothos video last week, I noticed how messy it was in here, like in the shelf above the cat litter, so I totally cleaned that out yesterday. You really can't really see it. All you can see is my Oregon High School Host Club bunny, but I cleaned that out yesterday because of that video. Anyway, I really love those 2-hand pedestals. I think it just adds a lot to my sort of plant area. I think it's very cute. I like them. I can't imagine the pedestal will hold like a plant forever, because it's not going to hold a very heavy plant, but I'll always have sort of 4-inch pots around of plants, because that's like my ideal plant size. So I really like that. Another thing that I really like in Bath & Body Works, I also don't have in my hand because I forgot to grab it, but they have a scent this year called Wicked Vanilla Woods, and I only bought it in the wallflower because that's really the only way that I use scents, and I really don't even use them that often. It's just if my room happens to be smelly because of either cat litter or something from outside, that's usually when I use them. But I'm very picky about scents because I don't want something too sweet, but I prefer a lightly sweeter scent, but I also don't want it to be, like, I'm so picky. I really like Wicked Vanilla Woods. I've been using it in my Crystal Ball wallflower, which I bought last year, but they have it again this year at Bath & Body Works if you want to pick it up. And it's, the best way to describe it is, the way I've seen it described on the Facebooks, is like a musky vanilla smell. I don't typically like musky smells, but this one is quite nice. It's vanilla without being too sweet. So that and the pedestals are my favorite things that I've got from Bath & Body Works. They are, of course, not the only things I've got from Bath & Body Works, if you've seen. But those are my favorites, I think. I bought a number of things from Michael's preparing for spoopy season, but I didn't think any of them particularly fit well in this video. One thing that I did buy that I haven't used yet, but I guess I'll mention it, is I bought the wreath form that they had that's a spider web. They also had it last year, and I really wanted it last year, but I couldn't think of a way to use it, so I didn't buy it. But then I saw someone on the Facebook groups say that they bought it to turn it into a plant trellis. So that's amazing. So I bought it, and we're going to be turning it into a plant trellis. I'll probably hoard that video when the time comes until October, so that it can be one of my sort of October craft videos, but I'm really looking forward to that. I just need a plant to go in it first. So I'm looking forward to that. But that's one thing that I bought from Michael's, which honestly, when it comes down to it, I always feel like I can't figure out what I bought from Michael's, but I've spent like $150 there already. But they're just now starting to put out like the actual Halloween displays, and they have this line this year that's sort of curiosities and oddities, and it feels like sort of cottage witchy apothecary, but like maybe slightly weirder. So I'm excited to see what that line looks like when it's all out, but it's not all out yet. Over the last month, when I've been doing my hair, including today, I haven't been straightening it. I've just been using this massive Kristen S curling iron that I bought. It's 2 inches, and it was about $100, but I bought it from well.ca. And I have to say, I really quite like this. I just pulled, like, you know, the hair out, wrap it up, wait a couple seconds, then let it go. I used to have a different 2-inch curling iron, but I really didn't like it because the handle was really skinny. And it just created a weird weight system where this end was really heavy and this end had like no weight to it, and I just really struggled with it. This one is much nicer, much more evenly weighted, I guess I should say. And my hair naturally is fairly straight, and I have a lot of hair, but it has absolutely no body to it naturally. So I did my hair like 12 hours ago at this point, but any of this sort of bend or any sort of shine or body that you're seeing in my hair at all right now is from that curling iron. So I just thought I would mention that because that's what I've been doing lately, using the 2-inch barrel curling iron, because it basically just straightens any waves, weird waves that I might have in my hair, and then adds a little bit of body. I bought this fan from Amazon, and it does have a, like, it plugs into a USB to charge, but it also can run plugged into the USB. And so what I've been using this fan for is, I had this problem where some of my moss poles on my plants were starting to get like a sort of white powdery mold on the outside of them, and I was thinking it was probably from being really wet overnight when there's no light and there's probably very little airflow over there. So what I do is I have the plug set up over there by my plants, and I plug this in overnight, and I have it on overnight as well, sort of pointing at the moss poles to sort of help increase the airflow and help get rid of some of that powdery mold, and it's actually been working. I really didn't think it would work because I feel like nothing that I ever come up with works that easily, but it actually did really work, and then it's all charged, so if I'm sitting here, I can't turn my air conditioning on by myself, someone else has to do it because it's over my bed, but if I'm warm, I just turn the fan on, and I just pointed at me. And this one says it's by Coopa, C-O-O-P-A, and honestly, I have no complaints about this little fan. I've had it for a couple weeks so far. I use it every night. It's worked fine. I really quite like it. But let's get into the most important July favorite of them all. I don't know how I got as far in my life without having seen Mamma Mia as I did. But I did, and I have now seen it. And I have now seen it 6 million times, okay? Like, obviously, like, every TikTok on my For You page uses an audio from Mamma Mia. I am familiar with ABBA songs. I've always known they were fun. But, like, I hadn't seen Mamma Mia. So, all I did was I took the DVD from my mom, because this is hers, and I watched it. It might even have been a week where I was still sort of injured. And I just watch this movie, like, all the time now. It's such a great comfort movie, and it's so much fun. The sequel is a lot of fun, too. I don't love the sequel as much as I love the first one, though. I've only seen the sequel twice, whereas I've seen this movie countless times. And the soundtrack is pretty much all I listen to. It's a great break for folklore, because that's all I listened to for the past 2 years. But, like, it's just so much fun, and I've decided to change the origin of my name, because my mom has many stories as to how she came up with the name Abigail and then Abby. Like, so many fun little stories she tells people. I don't know if they're all true. I don't know how many of them are true. So many stories. I decided to add a story and say that my mom really loved ABBA, but she couldn't name me ABBA, so she went with Abby. My sister today was like, who even wrote Mamma Mia? And I was like, well, ABBA. She was like, yeah, but like, who wrote the musical? Some kind of ABBA super fan. And I went, Abby. But yeah, this movie, if you haven't seen it, why am I even saying that? Everyone has seen this movie. It was me. I was the last one. It's so good. And my mom, she's really grumpy about Pierce Brosnan in this movie. She's like, he can't sing. Why did they cast him? I don't care. Okay, listen. I'm usually the #1 person who gets mad when someone is cast in a movie when they can't sing and it's like a musical. I think Pierce Brosnan is perfectly cast in this movie. And I think he's adorable. And I think he's allowed to be what he is in this movie, okay? It's okay. For some reason, it's allowed. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing this month, is watching Mamma Mia and doing my plant care. And spending money at Bath & Body Works. I literally have no money left. Like, I have spent stupid money. And Spirit Halloween isn't even open yet. And I was on the Spirit Halloween website the other day, and they had this very cute little backpack. And I will be buying it. I'd like to say that I'm not going to, you and I both know that I'm gonna buy. So I'll just tell you the truth. Anyway, those are all the things that I've been super overusing in the month of July. What have you been loving lately? Like, what music, what movies, what makeup stuff, or whatever. Like, just let me know what you've been up to these days. I'd love to hear from you. We're getting back into the swing of this whole video thing, you know, after I decided to fall out of my chair and break my shoulder. But we're back now, and I would just love to hear what's up and what's new with you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed already, and I will see you next time.